There are people who run to the light. They will fight any struggle for the love of life. These are people who will always rise from the fall. These are the people that answer the call. These are the ones who inspire us all. These are the people that always find their place. These are the people that walk by faith. These are people who will inspire you. These are the people that will show you what faith in God can do. Allow them a few moments to share some of that loving light with you. Thank you, Carl the Muse.
I want to look fine. I won't let it get me. I'm stronger than cancer. And the chain was broken because I was broken. And that signified the way I felt at the time that I was going through. I didn't feel like a complete person. Something had taken over my life and I was broken, broke my spirit, but I got it back.
Divine influence directed me away from the city of Port St. Lucie after my first 6 years in Florida. I am very in tune with my intuition, and my intuition brought me to Meisner Park in Boca Raton. While I was in the management office signing my lease, a couple came in and blessed the room with their presence. This couple had magical energy about them that was filled with love and light. Barry and Elizabeth were their names, and they came over to me like we knew each other for lifetimes. Moving over 70 miles away from my last home, I did not have many friends in the area. Barry and Elizabeth took me under their wing and immediately invited me to their place for some wine. Ironically, their place was 610, which is my birthday, so I instinctively followed the signs and messages. A week later, I went to visit them with a bottle of homemade wine that I made. After hours of conversation, there was a special bond that seemed as if it was there forever. I immediately saw them as a second set of parents and felt their genuine love towards me. Both of their souls are beautiful gifts that bless this earth. Even though Elizabeth was going to be my third documentary, I did not even know that I would be doing documentaries at this point. I told my father that day that something big is going to happen with Barry and Elizabeth. Something with miracles and Tai Chi. I just felt it. For the next 4 months, our bond grew, as well as their relationship with each other. They both took the next step and moved in together, but their place was over 50 miles away in Miami. Our connection stayed strong, and we would visit each other often. Since our connection started, I made my first documentary with William Farman involving Parkinson's disease, which all started by helping someone change a tire on the side of the road. Shortly after their move, Elizabeth introduced me to Manuel Carbonell. Manuel is an internationally known artist. His massive sculptures landscape Miami and countries all over the world. Manuel would turn into my second documentary after he stopped working and walking from health complications involving his stroke, heart failure, and infection from cellulitis. In November of 2009, Elizabeth's right eye started to close slightly like a half a wink. Elizabeth is a longtime registered nurse and works for one of the best hospitals in Miami, a Baptist hospital. She had undergone tests for months before they found a malignant growth on the roof of her eye socket. Further tests revealed 2 other growths, one in her sternum and the other on her spine at T12. I immediately offered to help. Her first chemo treatment was in a week on November 18th, 2009. Elizabeth saw the positive effects from William Farman and Manuel Carbonell, and she accepted my offer. All my documentaries are free of charge. Miracle Movements Foundation covers all of its expenses. At this point, I'm able to have 2 documentaries ongoing in the same building, since Carbonell lives a few floors down from Elizabeth. Moreover, I was able to help someone who I love and look up to as a second mother. One of the most powerful tools in healing is the heart. When you're not acceptant of any reward for the good karmic deed, the positive energy is able to be more divine. One of the greatest feelings another soul can feel is genuine love. To know someone is helping you strictly from their heart breeds such a connection that it makes all the little deeds feel like miracles. This allows the natural wall of the ego to fall. Now there cannot be any negative thoughts involved. This allows the healing touch to work more efficiently. Elizabeth was scheduled for 8 chemo treatments, each one 3 weeks apart. She also had to have bone marrow injections. Elizabeth lives a very healthy lifestyle, and it goes to show that cancer can affect anyone. What was your health like before you found out you had chemo? What was your diet like? What was your exercise like?
I exercise 3 times a week. I'm in a vegetarian diet for more than 30 years. Exercise faithfully 3 times a week. You know, I walk and always take care of myself. Try to get enough sleep. Don't do drugs. Drink wine on occasion. That's it. Clean lifestyle.
When you first found out that the tumors were cancerous, I know it's a challenging moment, but how did you feel on the inside? How was your thoughts and your emotions?
I felt scared. Even though the doctor told me that the cancer was very treatable, I was still scared. And once I knew that I had to have chemotherapy as opposed to radiation, that took on a whole another persona for me, because the thought of all of those chemicals going into my body, which is obviously a necessity, but feeling that, and I knew that I had to have at least 3 treatments, 4 medications for each treatment. And after having the first session with the chemo, I felt like something had taken over my body, and really up until this May is the first time, which is over 2 years, about 2.5 years, that I felt my body was my body and not taken over by the cancer. I felt preoccupied with it, and the medications, which were very necessary, obviously, took over. It just was the weirdest feeling. I never felt like myself. There was always something inside of me, and I guess that's the chemotherapy, killing off all of the dead cells.
Barry, how did you feel when Elizabeth first told you what was going on with her cancer? Knowing that how much you love and care for Elizabeth, how did it make you feel internally?
I felt helpless.
We started the movement to Tai Chi a week before her first treatment. Our treatment therapy will consist of twice a week, unless conditions determine more is needed. How did you physically feel and emotionally when you would have the chemo and the bone marrow injections?
How did I feel? I felt, I was nervous about the treatments. I was tired all the time. I just lacked all the energy that I was used to having, and of course I continued working throughout this whole time. I didn't miss any work, and some days it was very difficult for me to get out of bed. My chemo was on a 3-week cycle. I had 1 week of treatment, so that entire week I never felt good at all. By the 2nd week I started to feel better, and then the 3rd week I felt great, and then I started the 3-week cycle all over again. I don't even know how to really describe the feeling, but it was very bizarre to feel all of this stuff inside my body.
But you never missed a day of work?
No, I never missed a day of work. I scheduled all my treatments on my day off. After the first treatment, and I had my new Astra, which stimulates the bone marrow to produce cells, it actually destroyed my cells. And that was the only time I had to stay out of work for 3 days. And I could not eat any raw food because my body was totally compromised. And I couldn't be around people because any germ would make me sick. So that was for 3 days, and then when I went back to the doctor and repeated the lab test, he couldn't even believe how high they were. They were above normal. So it just took a long time. It knocked all the cells out initially, but then the bone marrow was stimulated and we started, reproducing the cells.
I developed a therapy that Miracle Movements Foundation uses in all of its documentaries. The main ingredient in this therapy is love and energy. Building your natural energy with breath and movement, and then extending that with genuine love to the person, equals one of the greatest healing techniques that is naturally given to us all. Stress accelerates any health complication, illness, or disease. Stress affects your thinking, outlook, emotions, and overall feeling of your body. Anyone just finding out that they have a serious or terminal illness will experience major stress. This affects the body in a physical, emotional, and spiritual way. Doctors have been known to give advice to people suffering from stress. One way to suggest is to sit, breathe, and relax. This is a help, but not a cure. How many times have you sat down, started breathing, but only to find yourself still thinking about the thoughts that are bothering you? How would your thoughts and feelings be, constantly thinking about a serious or terminal illness?
Did the Tai Chi help you relieve your stress and anxieties? Did it make you feel more at peace and ease?
Yes, much more, much more. And I wouldn't think so much about what was going on with me other than just the relaxation. And I think that helped also to get through this ordeal.
Did you do the Tai Chi with Elizabeth?
Absolutely.
How did you feel doing the Tai Chi, and what effects did you see with Elizabeth?
The effects that I felt, what I saw with her, was I saw an ease that was taking over. She was just in a nice place. There wasn't the thought of, oh my God, it's cancer, it's dying, it's killing me, what am I going to do? It just put me in a very, very mellow place.
A peaceful place?
Peaceful, very calm, yes.
Did you feel peaceful when you were doing the movements as well?
Absolutely.
The best state for your body to heal is when you're sleeping. The next best state is when you're completely relaxed. Being in a pure relaxed state allows the natural healing process to be in its purest form. How does one feel when totally relaxed?
How do you feel?
Great.
It's good.
I'm really relaxed.
Zoomed.
Oh, yeah, rubbing my feet, forget it. I don't know where I was. It's a good place.
It's a place you want to be in.
That's it.
It's a place I'm always in. High five for Zones.
Miracle Movements therapy is easy and was designed so anyone can do it. Remember, the most important part is love and energy. First part of the recipe is to get into that relaxed state. There are many types of meditations, but the best one I found to be is meditation in motion. Movements with breath I found to be more effective than just breath alone. When I do the treatment sessions, I extend and give energy. I never try to take away an illness from someone. When someone is trying to take something, especially an illness, you cannot pick and choose what you will get. This is why I give. You can give and give and give and never get back anything negative. This is also a karmic rule. There's a special internal muscle, as I call it, that extends the energy out of your hands. Easiest way to explain this is when you get the chills. You feel a sensation that runs down your arms and throughout your body. Right before a chill sensation happens, you squeeze an internal muscle. That feeling usually comes from around the ears and scalp. That split-second muscle control is what releases the energy. In our teacher trainings, we go into more depth and how to strengthen that muscle with control in order to help others. Miracle Movements therapy always involves the legs and feet. We use some concepts in reflexology as well. I extend a hard and soft touch to Elizabeth, a hard touch to break up the toxins from the chemo, and a soft touch to fill her up with energy.
Did you feel the energy? Did you feel things from David's hands?
Yes, very much.